Hello, beautiful quantum community. Welcome. Stand by just a moment while I bring in Patsy, Balacchi, and Karla Perez to our authentic conversations of Divine Feminine Immersion. Welcome, everyone, to our Divine Feminine Immersion authentic conversation. I see your message. This is actually a presentation that we do every week as we come together, and you're welcome to submit any questions you have. So this week, we're really excited to come together in this series of the Continuum Immersion. Now, this series is based on the 3 paths of self-mastery for the healing program that we invite you to join us in October in Boone, North Carolina at the Art of Living, the Divine Feminine Immersion. And so for those of you that are here, that are joining in, we can't wait to be with you. For those of you that want to hear more, welcome. And you can also find out more at divinefeminineretreats.org. And there's also a 10% promotion right now where you can secure your space and invite in a friend to join you. Let's see, did we lose Patsy here?
We lost Patsy, yeah.
Okay, here we'll invite her again. I'm sure she'll be here any moment. So this is our Continuum Immersion series, and hello Patsy, and welcome back. And we're talking about clearing to create. What healthy habit patterns do we need to bring into our lives so we can clear the way to fully honor who we are, to create the life of our dreams, to create the life that we were born to live? And I think this is such a versatile topic because we can explore. And so when I think about clearing to create and ways that I can honor myself, I have clients and customers that say, how do I honor myself more fully when my schedule is so full all the time, where I barely have a moment to breathe, right? And this is something that I think we can all relate to some degree of everything that we're juggling. Sometimes what I refer to as our quantum juggle. So to look at ways that we can honor ourselves more fully, first we need to look at the areas that we don't fully honor ourselves, right? And so the question, the invitation today is, how can I fully honor my body, my being as a temple, right? To honor it as the temple that carries my essence, my light, my divinity, my spirit. And so from my perspective, I always come back to the ways that we can let go. What do I need to let go of in this moment to more fully honor myself? So when we think of new habit patterns, we often think of, well, I can do a new exercise and do new nutritional diet or support. Definitely Karla's going to be speaking to that so wonderfully, but I actually go to the place of the psycho-spiritual connection, right? How, from an emotional perspective, can I be more honoring of my feelings, my thoughts, right? How can I bring more elevated reflections and practices in daily? What happens when I start to go down that rabbit hole of negativity? How can I lift myself back up to honor who I am, right? Because when we honor ourselves, it doesn't we have to dishonor a situation or another individual in our lives. It's just that we honor ourselves first and really bring in that place of love and compassion and acceptance and understanding. And also, one thing that's really important when we consider our healthy habit patterns is not only having greater emotional resilience, but protecting our energy, right? We think, well, it's really great. I can have some crystals around my computer to protect EMF frequencies, and that is absolutely true. But how do I protect my life force? How do I protect my joy and create those healthier habit patterns that really honor who I am in moments where I need rest, in moments where I need reflection, also in moments where I choose to be the biggest and brightest embodiment of myself? So one of my favorites is Angelica root. This is a wonderful oil. When you think of Angelica, of course, think of the archangel. It's a wonderful aromatic to not only ground us, but bring protection into the energy field. And when we think about our emotional perspective and the embodiment of greater joy in our life, that is something we want to protect as well. Just like we protect ourselves from the EMF fields and we protect our skin when we're out in the sun for prolonged periods of time with sunscreen, we want to protect our energy, our life force, our love, and our joy as well. So Angelica Root, now breathing it in with just a few minutes of seeing your entire energy field like your golden egg of light and your energy field is a beautiful, very quick visualization you can do before you leave the house. You can do before you start the day and open up your device to look at your email or go down that rabbit hole of social media. And these are all aspects that we want to bring into our day-to-day life to create those new healthy habit patterns that really honor every aspect of who we are, not just our physicality, but our emotions, our thoughts, and our spiritual connection as well. Of course, I did happen to pick up the black tourmaline, and I do like this crystal for not only having around my computer with selenite or actually shungite as well, but they are also really helpful when we're thinking about our meditation area and grids in the bedroom to really honor our frequency, our life force, and our emotional well-being. So these are just some of the wonderful aspects that we will be exploring when we come together in community. Gosh, it's amazing to believe that it's just 2 months away in October in Boone. So we invite you to join us. And in this moment, I'm going to pass the baton to Patsy Balacchi so she can share some of her wonderful insight on clearing to create. Patsy.
I really liked the topic about clearing. Just the word, it's a Latin root, which is clear, clarity, light, deriving from light. So what is it that we do when we are working in our spatial living spaces, our homes, is bringing more clarity to our spaces. And one area that I want to focus on today is looking into all those obscure dark spots that are in your environment. There is a reason for that, because we can, like, for example, the garage, the attic, garbage bins, closets, these are areas that are usually dark. So what happens when you're adding more clutter, or where these places are filled with dirt and just pretty much abandoned or neglected, is keeps continuing to accumulate more of this stagnation. So these areas, if there's anything that I always say, start decluttering dark spots and observe, go around your home, the perimeter around your home, every single room, and see where these dark areas are, because we all have them. So what is it that you can do? Very simply, get rid of the cobwebs first. Then if you have a place to put candles, have them there. They don't need to be lit, but at least the candle holders can have candles there. You can bring in a salt lamp. You can even have like a pretty, I would say, print out a frame, a picture of skylight or sunny skies, and just add it there. But it's really all done with intention. The reason for that, why is this so important? Because these channels carry so much stagnation. When we're talking about bloodlines and meridians, if there is accumulation of stagnation, it's also being reflected on the physical aspect of your body. Plain and simple, feng shui brings this harmony into your space, but by first clearing that clutter, because we're not going to start adding something to amplify. If it's filled with clutter, it's just going to amplify the clutter. That is the true meaning of that. So I would say simplify to amplify, and just really pay attention, bringing more love and attention to those areas, because depending on what that dark spot is in your home, that's also something that is related to your physical well-being. That's our message for today. Carly?
That's such a good one, Patsy. I was just, as you were saying that, I remembered I noticed a cobweb this morning that I'm going to have to go and do after this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Patsy. So today I would love to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting because it's such a broad subject. However, I use intermittent fasting regularly in my life. It's a discipline, it's a practice that I practice now for a long time. So what does intermittent fasting really do for us? A lot of people have these notions that, well, I can't not eat for a certain amount of time. There's no way I could make it. Yes, you can. It's a discipline. So when we discipline ourselves from non-excess, intermittent fasting has taught me the discernment of what my body needs and the stories that my mind is telling me. Okay, so by taking little steps of intermittent fasting, starting, with 12 hours, then maybe 13, etc., whatever works for you. Eventually, this spills over into the discernment of non-excess in everything in your life. It shows you that you can enjoy what you have in front of you. Whenever we have too much of anything, we have too much food, too much religion, too much entertainment, too much of anything, we no longer we lose the joy of it. It's like, this again and again and again, or, I ate too much, I'm sick. So when you can stop and pause and enjoy what you have, or stop yourself from when you're feeling you've had enough, this really clears everything inside of you. Intermittent fasting helps clear your microbiome. It cleanses your body. So you're purifying your body as you're doing this. This clears your mind. When you have junk in your system, it affects your brain too. So you are clearing the body, cleansing and purifying the body and the mind, and it's clarifying your spirit. It's energizing your spirit. So you can invite the sanctity of life with everything that you do when you withhold excess. So intermittent fasting for me is part of the yogic path that I'm walking. It's actually one of the yamas in the yogic path. There's yamas and niyamas, which are our ethics and morals. But you don't have to be a yogi to practice these. These are things that we can all practice. So I just want to leave it with that. Try intermittent fasting. We can talk about this in the retreat in much more detail. But as you'll see, as you can learn to withhold yourself from having too much, starting with food, little by little, it'll spill over into your life and you will withhold from too much of anything in your life. So one step at a time.
Beautiful. I love how it's so interconnected. Goal starts in and it projects out, bringing into yourself, your space, and the world.
Absolutely. It's such a, I love how our work, all three of us have these beautiful points of intersection. And one of the things that I talk a lot about is healing from the infinite perspective and looking at the sacred geometry symbol of infinity, right? And it's that wave that looks like an elongate 8, but on its side. And how really for any level of sustainable change, transformation, elevation, shift, whether it's in consciousness down to our physiological health and overall response, we always have to address things both ways, right? So I love how the process of intermittent fasting has such a benefit to not only our cognitive function, but also our connection. Because when we have density in our digestive system, then it bleeds over into the nervous system, right? Which of course we know the nervous system being this super highway, if you will, for a holographic representation of what's happening within each of our trillion cells, and also what's happening on the higher levels of our energy field or frequency, if you will. And so even that practice, simple, healthy habit pattern of intermittent fasting will have benefits that spill over, have that ripple effect to so many other aspects of our life. And I was thinking this morning about clarity, right? And how powerful that is, because there's always going to be some degree of adversity around us, right? We're always going to have to address something within our physiology, especially as we age and our energy change, as our hormonal levels change. And what is it to have that sense of clarity and connection from within us, that despite anything happening around us, we can become unshakable because we're able to listen to our inner voice, right? That inner wise one that guides us to the true high path, no matter what, right? And that comes from not only clearing our environment of the clutter, of the cobwebs, of all the stuff that holds the older energy. It also comes from the health within our cellular structure, our physiology. Intermittent fasting is such a powerful transformational tool in that regard. And then when we can come in and really start to build the muscle of listening to our inner voice, well, that changes everything, because we don't have to keep searching outside of ourselves for the confirmation, for the affirmation, for the approval, for the guidance to know what step to take next in our lives. It comes from within.
Yep, correct.
So I leave you with that message today, and I invite you, we all invite you to come join us this October, Boone, North Carolina, Art of Living Retreat Center, which is incredibly beautiful, over 300 acres of nature immersion. Talk about immersion, right? And where we are cultivating and curating this incredible program, where you will not only learn, but you will experience, and you will take home the tools, the techniques and the energy, right? The energy of revitalization that you have found within you during that 4-day immersion. So please, for questions, I know we had a couple of that said, hey, listen, I really want to bring a friend. Can we make sure, can we room together? And we can easily work those logistics out for you. Feel free to send us a DM or go ahead, divinefeminineretreat.org, and bring your buddy, bring your bestie, bring your sister, bring your brother. We welcome you all on this.
Love.
And next week with our live, which we meet here every Thursday at noon, and the conversation is recorded, so we have it for YouTube if you want to share it with a friend. But we'll be exploring some of the beautiful immersive experiences you'll be having in the retreat, and why they are going to be so transformative for you, why there is so much value in coming to this program where you can quantum leap along your own path of self-mastery and transformation to ultimately live the life that you were born to live. Thank you, and many blessings.
Next week.
See you next week.
Bye.